I'm Leash.
And I am Dee.
And this is Allow It.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a good week for us both. How's your week been? Well, I'm hoping I'm speaking for us both. How's yours been? No. Because I'm over here just chatting.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, your week might have been trash.
Now you talking for me. My week was trash. It was a very trash week.
Very rude. Why?
No,
Why is that?
No, it was all right. I was tired.
Okay.
I need a mommy break 100%. Anybody out there wanna
what? Just take
wanna book a trip for me? Just fly. Anyone wanna fly me out?
No, you with me trying to be flued out.
Please.
Yeah, but someone's got to do it at some point.
To my DMs.
Exactly. I think these DMs that stay open.
Oh my
Has anyone tapped in?
Nah. I'm actually starting to feel insulted.
Oh dear. Please make sure. Tell
my DMs are like the Sahara.
Tell your cousins, your fathers, your granddaddies, and everyone to tap in, please, into Leisha's DMs so she can get flued out. IJN.
For real.
Exactly. No, mine has not been too bad, actually. Considering the school was out, it should have been super crazy. But it wasn't. It was pretty chilled. The usual stuff, football mom stuff, all of that life stuff.
Oh, yeah. As we like to call in America, a soccer mom.
Of course, I'm a soccer mom.
Through and through.
Yeah. What? Wait. Happy New Year.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
It's 2024, y'all.
Exactly.
And I'm still waiting to get flued out. Crazy.
You're still waiting for your sugar daddy that you're not going to give any sugar to.
I guess exactly. No sugar.
What a year, man. That year needed to just go. And it's actually nuts because everyone that I really know, regardless of whether they've had a great year of high highs or a year that had like some highs, some lows, or people who had a low year, everyone just wanted the year to go.
Yeah, I think there was a consensus about 2023.
Yeah, to bounce.
Yeah.
Sis, we don't miss you.
Yeah. Not at all.
We don't miss you, sis.
There was definitely a consensus.
Exactly. Talking about mummy breaks, now that we're delving into that. So, I thought this week we should discuss something that really most mothers or caregivers, people who, care for children in general, whether they're your nieces, your nephews, adopted, whatever it may be, children in your home in general. What are do you think I wouldn't want to call it tolls, right? Oh, but there we go again with what we were discussing about why shouldn't we call it tolls? So what are the tolls of motherhood really that you think that maybe you handle so well or you don't handle at all, or you'd rather someone else handle for you?
Okay.
That's a lot. Okay. Mm-hmm. Unpack what you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if we're talking about tolls within motherhood that I wish that I didn't have to deal with as a parent, I guess it would be kind of going through the motions. I mean, I have a soon-to-be 7-year-old daughter right now, and it's crazy because it's been such a short time, but as I see her grow, the dynamics change a lot. Mm-hmm. She is also growing as a person. Mm-hmm. You think about babies having growth spurts and all that stuff, but then you also need to realize, your toddlers, your adolescents, your teenagers, all of them also go through some form of growth spurt as well. So I think, we always talk about letting go of generational curses and things like that, and kind of getting away from things that maybe our parents did for us that we didn't like, and we want to do it different for our kids. And it's so hard to kind of tap out of that because
exactly, yeah.
I know sometimes
that's all you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even for me, sometimes I'm just like, geez, my mom probably would have done something like that, and I don't want to do that. But here we are.
Exactly, here we are, indeed.
So, I think there's a lot of tolls. I feel like there's tolls in being a working mom, as even though that their dad is there and he's very much present, you're still the matriarch of the house. So even though you are working, you're the one making sure all of the things in the household are also working
Indeed.
accordingly and also operating. And then it's kind of just like, does anybody see that I'm also struggling? It's just even like when your partner is sick,
it's weighty.
Everybody acknowledges man flu.
There you go.
He's out for the count. Forget about it.
It's weighty.
It's a write-off. But when you're sick, there's no you're not allowed to be sick. You still have to make sure that the kids are taken care of, the kids are fed, their laundry is done, that they have that motherly love, I guess, sort of say,
that nurturing.
Exactly. Throughout the whole period of you going through what you're going through and you trying to recover at the same time. And I think no disrespect to men out there, because obviously, like I said, fathers that are very present and they are there. Even sometimes maybe the child just doesn't want their dad. They want their mom. So there's nothing.
And sometimes there's times where they just want their dad too.
Exactly.
So, but most of the time they really just, they want their mom for this and for that, for a hug, for a cuddle, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Now that you've got a boy, now you feel it, right?
Oh my gosh.
You see the difference?
And he's a bit temperamental though, because like sometimes he doesn't want anything to do with me. He wants his dad.
Yeah, daddy daycare.
Even if his dad does something that, okay, let's say the other day they were playing and he was throwing him up in the air, and they ended up like butting heads throughout the plane, right? So obviously he's crying,
of course,
and I'm just like, come to me. But he doesn't want to come with me. He wants to stay with his dad. I'm like, how do you want to stay with the person that injured you?
Not the person that injured you.
Make it make sense.
He said just because he's injured me, it doesn't mean that I love him any less. You see, this is the reason why it doesn't mean that I love him any less. And this is increased, decreased, stayed the same, worse now that you've got a second child?
I would say worse.
Just tell the people, sorry, one sec, how old the second one is.
The second one is 1 year old now.
Yeah.
A little over 1. I would say it's a bit worse because during this period I've struggled with a lot of anxiety. I had acute like postpartum depression when he was born as well. And you would think that with the second child things would be easier.
Yeah, right.
But for me, I felt with the second child that I was a brand new mom all over again. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to operate. It was a lot going on.
7 years is a long time, right?
I mean,
yeah, it's a long time, really. If you think about it, that's a quite a significant difference. Really, habits are built in 7 days a week, whatever, or 30 days, or whatever it may be. So 7 years, of course, you'd have forgotten most of it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Before I tap into that, what about you and your tolls and?
I don't know. Jeez. I had to double back there because with the whole it's a toll, or what people would say, it's having children is not a burden because children are a blessing. And yes, of course, they're a complete blessing. I would not imagine my life without them. Life with them is bloody amazing and then some. But that does not negate the fact that there is still things that come with motherhood that I struggle with. It's a shame that in society or in families in general, the close-knit families, they're saying from an African, I'm speaking from an African perspective, African background perspective, a lot of people, you cannot express anything negative about motherhood to anyone, because then it becomes, are you not thankful that you have these children? There's people out there who want children and are so desperate to have them. And just to mention, I've got a son, like Leash, but my son is just turned 6, and I've got a set of twins, and they're boys as well, and they've just turned 9 months actually yesterday. So they're 9 months old. So I have 3 kids in total, and especially after having the twins, everyone is like, you're basically not allowed to say anything negative about having a set of twins. You're tired, be strong. Be strong, Mom. You can do it. Be strong. It's a blessing. You are not having a day that you're coping very well, because it's just me and my other half, and we're in these parenting streets, and we are trying the hardest, doing the most, having very little sleep, very little time to eat, to to do anything in general, but we're not allowed to express that because we've been blessed so much. But like I just said, you cannot negate someone's experience just because you think it's a blessing, or it is a blessing rather. Both truths can be, what's that saying? You can have both truths.
Yeah, well, both things can be true.
Yeah, both things can be true. They're absolute blessings. They're amazing. I wouldn't imagine my life without them, and neither would my partner. But also at the same time, there is things that come with parenting a newborn set of twins that were born premature, and moving forward. Even when I spoke to, let's say, the GP when we went to go and do the the checkups that they have. Went to do a checkup, and then he was like, "Oh, but how are you doing, mom?" And I'm no longer Dion, of course, because you're not Dion anymore. You've had any kids. You're now mom. Everyone just calling you mommy. All the health professionals and everyone just calls you mom. I became another person. How are you doing, mom? And I said, I'm just tired. He's like, yeah, be strong. You'll get there. Eventually. You'll get there eventually. So yeah, like I said, a lot of people just bypass the fact that maybe you are, there's women out there that are crying for help, and they can't get that help because everyone's saying you've had the child. There's some people who can't have children. There's some people who are trying to have children. You should be happy. You should be feeling blessed. And we're lucky, as we said, we've got their fathers that are very much present, that are in their lives. But I cannot imagine for the single mothers out there that are having to do it alone, and not only having to be told that you need to be strong because you're by yourself, you also need to be strong regardless of what's happening to you
on the outside.
Exactly, regardless of what's happening to you on the outside. So that's my take on that. You can't say anything at all.
I mean, without people side-eyeing you and being like, as you said, kids are a blessing. What do you mean it's hard work?
Exactly,
What do you mean that you're not coping? You should be
able to cope. There's just no way why you can't cope. I think that comes with us being highly functional individuals.
Yes. That is true. I think when I had Liam, even though my mom came to help at some point in the beginning, it was hard. I didn't sleep. I remember one day I was so wired that I literally gave him to his dad. I took my car keys, I hopped in my car, and I drove around the block, and I parked somewhere, and I slept.
Not the block, these Americans.
I know, right? I drove around the block. I drove around the block of my hood.
She drove around her postcode.
Yeah. And I slept in my car for 2 hours because I needed it. I was like, I need to sleep. I'm tired.
You were gone.
I was, I had to rush back because I was breastfeeding.
Of course, yeah. All you're thinking about, really, you're not really properly sleeping.
Because you're like, what if he wakes
just resting
up?
Your
Is
body.
he going to be hungry?
Yeah.
But I needed that. I remember my mom was calling me. My friend back, shout out to Stefan, he was blowing me up. Just because they never seen that side of me, so they were scared. They're like, "Oh my gosh, is she okay? Is she having a whole moment?" And I mean, those moments have come for certain mothers, and I also don't feel like they should be judged for having those moments. And I feel like a lot of women don't talk about those moments because they're afraid of being judged.
The judgment behind it, and the judgment is gonna come regardless of what you do, especially with us being Black mothers. Exactly. On top of just being mothers in general. And people can say what they want, but we stay judged on a daily basis. Like if you're a Black mother and your hair's not done and your nails are not done and you haven't, we're turning up to this podcast, and I'm just going to put it out there. We're turning up to this podcast, and the whole entire time we've been filming, I haven't put makeup on once because the effort of getting my household ready just for me to go and film, just to make sure that the boys are this, the boys are that, their dad has got this. I need to also navigate around his schedule because of course we're two, so I can't be selfish and say I'm just going to go and do this. But the effort it takes for me to just turn up and even look somewhat presentable is an effort. Yes, there is going to come a time where, this is going to be out the window when the boys are a little bit older.
Yeah.
But the toll will be different, right? There'll be other things that I need to, let's say, focus on. As you were mentioning that now she's 7, there's other things that you're navigating.
Yeah. I have to navigate her not wanting to do certain things anymore that she's been doing. I have to navigate her kind of just growing into her own, where it's like, mommy, I don't want to dance anymore. I want to be a singer. Like, these things like that. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't care about that money that you're paying.
Exactly.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
On the weekends. And it's very much, and then also too, it's kind of hard. I do wonder, I asked you too, how you balance that, especially because you have 3 boys. I think in the beginning it was a bit easier for me, considering that Layla's a girl and Liam's a boy, so there wasn't really that jealousy factor there. However, I see now too, it's kind of like, I want to spend more time with you.
Okay.
Because now when we do everything, if Dad's not around, then it has to be me, you, and Liam.
Of course. Yeah.
Before it was just me and you.
Okay. Thankfully, I didn't. I think somehow, honestly, because I've been blessed with the 3, and of course double trouble. I somehow, the universe, God, the higher power, has given me certain loopholes, certain leeways to say, okay, cool, because you've been given this, okay, to whom much is given, much is expected, right? At the end of the day, because you've got so much on your table, there's certain things I'm gonna take away from you. Yeah. So Cam, no jealousy has been showing through, none of that stuff. He was regressing as a child,
of course.
Most parents will know this. So the first child will end up sort of it's either just before you give birth or after you give birth. That child, if they are sort of younger, they'll end up regressing to being younger, or being, the younger age than they actually are. So besides the regression, there is actually no jealousy whatsoever between them that I can see. Internally, I've asked him a couple of times if there's any times where he feels he should be the only one, or this, that, and the other, but he says basically this is not the case at all.
Yeah.
He's always wanted the 2 boys. He's always told me he wanted 2 baby brothers. He's got them now. He's happy. The issue that he has is that I keep on telling him off about carrying them. About carrying them. And making sure that obviously he plays with them, appropriately for their age as well. He's like, oh, you just keep on telling me off. Besides that, I'm fine. Yeah. So he's
that's good.
He's completely good. He's got no issues with that. But I do hear a lot of stories from other parents about sibling. I hate to call it rivalry because they don't know no better.
Yeah, it's not, because I won't say like it's rivalry. Yeah. Because it's not like she treats them bad or they fight or anything.
Yeah, there you go.
I think maybe even for her, she's probably a bit annoyed because she wants to play with him, but he's not really interested in playing with her. He's showed himself to be an absolute boy's boy. So he's kind of like he doesn't want to play with her. Kind of like back off, leave me alone. That's true. So and for her, she even when Cam and Layla are together, she feels some type of way.
Yeah, of course she does. Okay. Yeah, she does. If he's done, if he's like,
if he's like, I'm not interested anymore. She's girl. Annoyed.
Yeah, of course.
And that's with anybody. Yeah. So I think that's also too a growing curve that she needs to kind of grow out of herself.
I think, to be honest, I don't know if she'll grow out of it, because I genuinely think that's her love language. Yeah, it's like, spending time with her.
No, definitely. That's her love language. She likes cuddles. She wants
to be around you. Yeah. If she likes you, if she loves you, she wants to be around you, and she wants you to show that. And I guess this is the same thing that she's really looking for when she's playing with Cam. She's like, come on,
exactly.
Let's play. And he's tapped out after a while.
He's like, I'm tired.
Exactly.
I've had enough.
He's tapped out. And for women out there that are going through it after motherhood, before motherhood, postpartum, whatever it may be, you need to make sure that regardless of what society says, you need to always make sure that you express yourself in every way, the good, the bad, the ugly. If you're having a great day, make sure it's known that you're having a great day. But if you want to feel, make sure you feel, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't feel. You can't feel whatever space you're in at that moment. And of course, get help. If you need the help, get help, therapy, get help, medication, get help. Whatever works for you, get the help. Turn to faith, exercise, go out more. There's loads of other things, but also don't fall into this trap of society that's saying to you that just because you're not showing up a certain way, you've fallen off, or you're not showing up at all, that you're not interested. But the interest might be there. It's just that you can't fathom having to gather yourself together and go do what you need to do.
It's a lot of work. Imagine you haven't slept in days. The last thing you want to do is get up, dress up nice, and pull your hair back or whatever, splash on some makeup. That's the last thing you want to do.
Of course, exactly. Yeah.
To be honest, if I didn't have to do the school run, I probably wouldn't have done that.
That dreaded school run. Oh God help me. Jesus, that's one thing that people don't be telling you about, really, is that school run is the worst thing possible. The worst thing possible. If I could eliminate anything from being a parent, is that school run.
I think that's the biggest toll.
They need to do that American thing where you get the bus comes to the corner, the kids get picked up and they get dropped off.
But do they do that in rural parts of the UK? Do they have school buses? We live in London, so it's the same. It's different. New York, there's no school buses. Yeah. You're bringing your kids to school. Oh, you're bringing your kids to school. Okay, so it's if you're living in the city, it's a burbs thing.
Okay. Yeah. But honestly, no, they don't have it in London. They might have it in other areas. Yeah. I think so. And also possibly if you're in a private school, one of those, they don't call them private schools here. They call them public schools. If you're in a public school, those schools that you pay for, then possibly they do like a school pickup or whatever it may be. Exactly. But the school run is the worst in all weathers with a set of twins and a double buggy. Imagine. It's a time.
A nightmare. I only have one buggy, and I will tell you that Duna saved my life.
That Duna is everything.
Shout out to Duna.
Duna needs to do a double Duna.
Shout out to them.
And also they need to do just an extension of the Duna. Yeah. So one that you can use after they're a certain age and height.
I don't even...
Because where it stops is not convenient at all.
Yeah. Not convenient
the age group that it stops is not convenient. So Duna, double Duna.
A double Duna and an extension.
Because, of the current Duna.
Whoever came up with that patent idea is a freaking genius.
Of course, exactly.
Because it saved my life in so many ways. I was so upset when he couldn't fit
into it anymore. I had to say, girl, please, if you don't take that big old man out of that Duna. He would have been in
that Duna until he was 3 years old.
That big old boy.
He would have been in there.
I am paying rent in that Duna.
He would have been in there until...
Also, on top of that, he was sick and tired of that Duna too. He was giving you all the signs. And you said,
but I'm just like, I don't care.
I'm not going to let this go.
That made my school run 10 times easier.
Of course.
Just literally taking you out and plopping you on the ground. Come on now.
I know. Just to mention though as well, I think... fathers being present in our children's life has made the biggest of differences.
Oh yeah, of course.
Even if they're just sitting there on TikTok, on their phone, or whatever it may be, on TikTok or Facebook Live, on TikTok or Facebook Live, on the floor, and making sure that they give you. It's not a break, like we call it. What did you read on social media the other day? Having a shower is not a break.
No, it's not a break. Having a shower is not a break.
Eating your dinner
Going
is
to
not
the
a
grocery
break.
store is not a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those things are not breaks for mothers.
Being able to eat is not a break.
Exactly. Or even turning up for your friend's birthday is not a break.
Yeah, no. But they'll tell you that's a
of
break.
course they'll say, you managed to go out and do this. Oh yeah, it's a break from the kids. It's not a break. These are things that I should be doing like every other human being. I should be able to go to the toilet in peace.
Exactly.
Eat my dinner in
Exactly.
peace. And all of those things. Yes, we have to work around it. Like I said, the issues that you and I think this is the reason why we've been friends for so long, is because, like I just mentioned, we're highly functional individuals, regardless of what's happening in our surroundings or in the fields.
Yeah.
That could not be the greatest thing, but it's what works.
I mean, also too, there's a kind of aspect that, for me, life is too short. I can't. I have to keep on.
You got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, exactly. And then also too, back to the household too. I have OCD. So even if I am maybe on the brink of being manic, I don't have no choice but to get up.
You're gonna be
I'll be
manic
even
in this
more
cleaning.
manic if things don't get done.
There's actually a post that I saw the other day, because a lot of people think that individuals that have depression end up having like that depression slump where they're not cleaning anything, the house is a mess. But there's also severely depressed people who are obsessed with cleaning because they think that's the only thing that they can control, really. If I can't control my feelings, therefore I'm going to go and control what's around me, which is I'm going to clean to the brink of me. So everything has to be in place.
I can't get to that
function.
point where it's like
I cannot function if the house is out of order, not a single bit. And a lot of people that walk in go, but like, kids live here? Yes, they do. And what about it?
So you're one of those depressed people that clean?
It's just let's return to sender. Return to sender. No depression in Jesus' name.
So now Dion has just admitted something to me, because it's very true. You walk into her house and you're like,
yeah, it's like, who lives here? How is there these young children in this home? It's not possible. But yeah, I've always been obsessed with cleaning. I think it's genuinely, like I said, it's something that I know I can control. I can control my surroundings. I can make sure that everything is in order, because, I'm one of the, prepared to, you have to prepare. Everything has to be prepared in order for me to actually just have a basic normality with multiples. I have to prepare. Yeah, and everything has to be in order, because if it's not, I'm already chaos. So if I'm chaos in my fields, what makes me think I need to be chaotic in my day-to-day, in my surroundings and everything around me? So that's not possible. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm organized chaos.
Yes,
I'm pressure make diamonds.
I love that for you.
I'm last minute lassie.
Last minute lassie. But I think that works though. That works for you, because somehow out of the pressure just comes all like diamonds.
As she mentioned, even with the podcast, it's about a 30 minute drive away from me, and I am always in the midst of doing something else and rushing,
of course,
to get here. Just, as you said, getting the kids sorted and doing all of that. And it's always last minute, but somehow, we move.
Yeah, somehow it always works. Somehow it always works. And for the people that are looking into maybe having children, just bear in mind that everything is a phase. First of all, hopefully it's a phase. Okay, because sometimes it filters into not being a phase, but everything is a phase, and it will always pass. And also, number two, just never let society tell you that you cannot feel this way, you cannot speak about this, you cannot do this, you cannot say this, you cannot do all of that stuff. Just be who you are, navigate motherhood, parenthood as you are the individual, and just keep it pushing. One day you're gonna turn around and those kiddos are gonna be like the best humans possible, best humans possible, and you're going to be so proud of yourself and what you achieved. Every single time I'm like, okay, they're 9 months old, I made it.
Yeah, of course. The first year is always a celebration for everybody. Like, you're here, everything's alive.
A celebration. And what sort of, not advice, but what little gems can you put out there for the people that currently don't have any children, might want children, might not want children?
I mean, yeah, I'm one of those people who absolutely categorically did not want any
children.
Kids. And here we are, two down the line.
Here we are.
I would say that if it happens and you're in a space, and I guess you say you want to keep it, I will just say that, you know, obviously it will be hard. There will be hurdles around the way, but don't be scared. I think all the pieces fall into place when it happens. Yeah. I would say that I was absolutely devastated when I found out I was pregnant with my first child. And
she made it known.
I made it very known.
She's not scared of judgment.
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not.
She made it known.
Yeah, I would tell you how I feel.
You were shitting bricks.
Yeah, I will tell you how I feel. I acted like I was 16 and pregnant. I acted like I was a teenager.
Meanwhile, we were big women when we had our
grown.
Kids. Yeah, we were grown.
But I would say that, yeah, my daughter definitely has opened many doors for me. She's brought in many blessings for me, which I think wouldn't have came if I didn't have her. So, and I can't imagine what life would have been now not being a mom.
Princess.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, just there are times where it's very hard, where I'm kind of like, God, like, are you sure I was meant to be somebody's mama? But, you know, you get on with it, and you know, like you said, it's just it's a moment. Maybe it could be a long moment, like all of 2023, but it doesn't last forever.
It doesn't last forever. It doesn't last forever. So yeah, Happy New Year, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Happy New Year.
I am Leash.
I am Dee. Wait, I see like she just did there. Yeah.
And this is
Allow It. Thanks for joining us, guys. Speak to you next week. Bye.